Hi guys, and welcome to episode 3 of my knitting podcast. My name is Marlene, and today I wanted to talk to you about all of the things that I've been knitting on, some objects that I've finished, some things that I bought which are knitting related, and a few cones and hanks of yarn. So firstly, I think the first category should be what I finished. I only finished 2 smaller objects this month. This is the Bayou Beanie. I can try to put it on, but it is supposed to fit my boyfriend's head, not mine. Although we might be, I don't know if this suits me. It does suit him very well. I think it looks very nice. He got it for his birthday, which was 2 days ago. So I finished it about a week in advance, which I was quite happy with. I'm very new to gift knitting, obviously, because I haven't done it before as much, and I did make a mistake. I had to knit back quite a few rounds because you're decreasing on all of those 4 sides. I think this is very much obvious, so I hope I don't give away too much from the pattern. I'm gonna link the pattern and where you can buy it down below. But yeah, I dropped a stitch marker, which sometimes happens to me, and then you're like just sitting on the couch and then you're like, why is there a stitch marker on my blanket? And I saw that I only had 3 stitch markers in my knitting project, and that I forgot to decrease on one of the 4 sides, which meant I had to knit back a few rounds, but that was okay. In general, this was the first fisherman hat or fisherman beanie that I did. I only ever knitted Stockholm hats in the past, and this was also the first project where I did knit to purl to, actually. So I think it's a very nice finished object. He loved receiving this as one of his birthday presents, and I loved gifting it, so yeah. Next finished object is also a hat, and this one I made for myself. I'm gonna put it on. It's a Stockholm hat. I hope this doesn't look stupid. So yeah, as I already told you guys in I think the last or the previous episode, in one of the previous episodes, I made a mistake and only knitted this with 1 strand of the Sandnes garn and 1 strand of the Tinsel mohair, which I was supposed to knit it with 2 strands of the Sandnes garn. But I actually quite enjoy how it turned out, because we're in Germany. It gets quite cold in the winter, but it's not like we're in Norway or I don't know, the North Pole. So I have quite a lot of hair, as you can tell. My head gets quite warm, or can get quite warm in a thick beanie, so I think this is actually quite nice. So it's not as thick and chunky. I did want to say something about this pattern, something that I could have probably made or done a bit better. The decreases, I think the left ones, are quite loose. So this is probably something I did wrong. I don't know how to fix this really, because I did already knit, I don't know, 4 or 5 Stockholm beanies before this, and I've had this problem before, but I don't think it was this bad. So they're really big. I'm just trying to ignore it and wear it either way. But yeah, this was quite a fast knit. Both of the beanies were, but I didn't have a huge or tons amount of knitting time the last 2 weeks because of work. So I think it's quite a good amount of knitting that I've done. Finished 2 objects, and now moving on to my work in progress. I have 2 work in progress. One is in this project bag, which is also one of my acquisitions, but I'm going to tell you about this later on. It is the collar of my zipper sweater. It's a bit squished together, but yeah, I think I'm almost at the required length, and I did this with the Judy's Magic cast on, which means that I have the same amount of stitches on this side, on the other side of the side where I already knitted in twisted rib stitch up to this point. So it's going to be the part of the zipper sweater where I think the zipper actually gets put in the end. So there are quite a few new techniques. I mean, I think I'm getting better with each new technique that I'm learning. It did take about 5 times of trying to get this right. I'm actually trying, I will link all of the videos that I found extremely helpful in the past for me to figure out what the pattern is trying to tell me when it comes to different kind of techniques. I'm thinking of putting them in the description box just so you, in case you're struggling with any of these techniques yourself, can go and have a look there. But yeah, I think I'm only missing about 1 centimeter of this twisted rib. I'm intrigued to see how this goes on. I think it's a beautiful color. This is the yarn that I was telling you about last episode, which I got gifted by Kremke Soul Wool. This is the Reborn recycled and the, I think, Silky kit mohair. But yeah, I like the color very much, and I think it is going to be a beautiful zipper sweater. I'm already looking forward to wearing it so much. And yeah, so I hope that I will get maybe finish the yoke this year. So until the end of the year, it is the 25th of November today. So at least for me it is. I don't know when I will be able to upload this because I'm waiting for my friend to arrive. Yeah, so the friend I was telling you about, Emma, she's coming to stay with me for the weekend, and because I've been having a few days of work, I can actually film during the week. So today is Friday, but she will already arrive at I think about 2 o'clock in the afternoon. So I don't have much time left to finish this video, but I will try and shoot it and then see if I can upload it maybe a Sunday night or something like that. And I did want to film now because she is bringing some of the yarn that we ordered together, and so I will have a bigger yarn acquisitions part in my next video. But I also wanted to show you some of the progress that I made until now, because I just don't want to have too much to share in one episode. I think this would make it just a bit too long. Something else, so I was lying before. I do have 3 works in progress, although this one isn't really an active work in progress. There are just 2 things that I wanted to test out, which are these needles, which I'm going to tell you about in a minute. And I wanted to knit something with cotton yarn. I wanted to try, because I did a huge yarn haul in my first video, which was kind of like my starting point to build some sort of yarn stash. This is one of the camisoles by My Favorite Things Knitwear. So yeah, I just wanted to try out the technique which I used here, which is the provisional cast on, and try this this stitch pattern, which I haven't tried before. But yeah, so this isn't really an active work in progress. This is something that I will be knitting on probably in the next year. I just wanted to test it out and see how the needles worked, which I am going to tell you about in a minute. So my third work in progress is actually also my first ever sock that I've ever tried to knit up. And I've actually come quite far already. I started this yesterday. I picked up the yarn from a postal station, which it came from the Netherlands. This is Hello Autumn by Olivia and Oliver Fibers. I did actually get this bigger package of dyed to order, the eggnog, which I'm going to knit into a jumper. But this is still going to take a few weeks, I think, until it arrives here. So I put up a second order when Tam from Olivia and Oliver Fibers, she put up a sale on all of her leftover yarn before she's I think renewing her shop and the collection. So I got 2 sets of sock yarn. I think at this point in the video it always gets a bit tangled up between the whips and the acquisitions, but yeah, it doesn't matter. But yeah, so this is also an acquisition, and so I love the yarn. I think I'm doing quite well. The only thing that I still have to practice, you can see on this side and then on the other side a bit, it's actually a bit worse. You can see how my tension is, because I'm knitting magic loop. These are also new needles, which I'm going to tell you about in a minute. I think I'll have to practice a bit more. I don't know. I knitted back twice, but then I was like, I don't want to do that again. So no. I think they will be my first pair of socks. I ordered some sock blockers as well, so I will be washing and blocking them, and I hope that it's gonna fix any bumps, and otherwise I'm just gonna be seeing them on my feet and still be so happy about them, because the yarn is just delicious. This is my third work in progress, and now I'm going to continue with acquisitions, I think, because I've been just talking about Olivia and Oliver Fibers. This is the second skein set that I got. This is Antique Rose and Marigold, which I'm so excited to see Marigold, because this is also the color that I got for my festival sweater for the stripes. So I'm very excited to see how this is going to make the cuff and the maybe the heel flap and maybe the pointy bit of the sock. And this is a DK sock set, so I think these are going to be a bit more a bit thicker. Maybe I'm thinking about getting the Sunday socks, but yeah, with this it's a bit thicker, but I think I'm going to make the most beautiful socks with this as well, just a bit thicker ones. That was my first acquisition. My next acquisition is actually coming from the UK and is inspired by Rebecca from the Creative Knitting podcast. Again, I think I've been talking about her like every single episode that I've done so far. I hope it doesn't seem too stalkish or creepy. But yeah, I just very much enjoy her content, the way she is knitting, and she is a big fan of these woolly knit cones. So these are my cones. I've ordered them to like 50% for them to be knitted up into beautiful garments, and 50%, I'm not gonna lie, because I think they make like the most beautiful decoration in a knitter's home as well. So my plans for these two cones of, I think they're both merino wool. They're both 500 grams of 500 grams of merino wool. This is in Tiara Beige Nap, and this is in Musco. Yeah, Musco. They're both 4-ply. So I think what I'm planning on doing with them is, again, I'm going to shamelessly copy what Rebecca did with them, with her cones. I think I'm going to hold it double, at least with this one. Let me tell you about this one first. So with this one, I'm planning on holding it double. So it's 8-ply, I think, is it? This is fingering, I think. So it should be DK when I hold it double. I think I should be able to knit up a no frills sweater or something very similar. A friend of mine, she's actually coming up with some of her own knitting patterns, so maybe I'll use this for that. I don't know yet. And then with the khaki one, I think this will actually be a perfect color. I mean, I would be happy to wear this, but I'm thinking about, like, I can't talk today. I just can't talk. I'm sorry. I'm also thinking about maybe knitting my boyfriend his first handmade sweater with this color, because I think it's beautiful. I'll have to see what I'm going to do with them, but in the meantime, until I have plans for these two, I think they look quite nice just on their own, just on the side. So these were all of my acquisitions. So talking about my acquisitions, which aren't yarn but knitting related, I got this beautiful project bag from a company called Grow, handmade bags and things. There you grow. So just like the saying, there you go, it's there you grow. You can see here it has pockets in there. I got it on Etsy. It has pockets. It even has a zipper for all of your I don't know, things you don't want to lose. It has a really good, I don't know how you call this, but it's a really good quality thingy majiggy. I don't know what this is called, but yeah. So this is new. I got it. I actually used a different one from Sustainable, like I told you, but I sold that on Vinted because I'm also planning on getting the new knitting for petite knits. So the new petite knit one from her winter collection, which is also in a checkered colorway, and which I think will be fitting this one very well. I think I can justify having two project bags, so I sold the one that I was using earlier. And then something else I got from Vinted is this, and another one of these are these two little pouches, which in this one I've currently got my scissors, so I'm not gonna poke myself. And these two I got for a very reduced price. So there is Cezanne, and I was looking at the Cezanne page. I think they have a few very nice bags and totes and things that could be easily used as project bags. But they're all sold out. So I looked at Vinted and I found them for a very good price. And I thought, yeah, so I'm very much into the knitting accessories as well. So I thought I get it and put in some of my knitting supplies. Then I actually went to a store where I didn't buy any yarn, as you can tell, but it was a knitting store. And what I got there were needles. I got the twist lace interchangeable, red lace interchangeable Chiaogoo system. I got the 2.5 and 2.75 millimeter needles, which I'm now using for my vanilla sock, and I got the red cable in 35 and 55 millimeters, no, centimeters. So I had just heard from a couple of different people that this twist lace system was the best for knitting socks with and more like intricate things. And also I'm used to working with my KnitPro interchangeable wooden needles, and I really enjoyed them. These were the ones that I started knitting with because my friend who taught me how to knit, she used them and I really like them, so I don't have any complaints about them. But I didn't find they go smaller than I think 3 millimeters. So I got those to knit socks with, and then I wanted to try the Seeknit. I think these are the, I don't know the name. These are the circular ones. So I think these are the 3 millimeter and 3.5 millimeter needles on 80 centimeter cables. One of those I already took out and tried to knit something with. I think the selling point for these is actually that the circular needle feature a rotating swivel that prevents twisting, allowing for smooth knitting. So yeah, I think they are beautiful. Obviously they are probably the most beautiful out of all of the ones that I'm owning. I like that the cable is transparent and the wood is, I think maybe it's bamboo. Yeah, Japanese bamboo. It's such a nice and light wooden color. So I think I will be very happy knitting anything with those, and just trying them out. But with any other garment that I've shown you so far, I've used the KnitPro needles and I'm very happy with those as well. So a few more things that I got from different stores. This was actually from one of our local stores, which I got before I got all of the other things, so I don't know if I might be taking this back actually. It's the Prym 3.5 millimeter needle set. So this is a double pointed knitting needle set with five needles, obviously. They didn't have any smaller ones, but I was like, I want to buy something. I'm here at this, I'm here now. I want to try out these double pointed needles. And then I got them, and I'm not sure if they were quite expensive. I mean, all of the other ones were as well, but I know what I'm going to use them for. And with this, I don't know if I'm going to use it. So maybe I might be taking this back. So these are 15 centimeters. And then I got from Kastanie again, which I figure would be a cheap alternative to just try out something. And if they don't work out, it's not the end of the world, because so this was around 10 euros. And these were on the, they were under 2 euros for each of the set. And they are also 3.5 and I think 2.5 millimeter, 20 centimeter double pointed needles, which I just think would be nice to try out and knit with, maybe for future sock projects. But now that I do have the Chiaogoo, yeah, I'm not sure if I'm going to use them quite as often, but I just thought maybe to try out different techniques with these would be nice. And then two last things, I got a set of buttons. Again, this is probably for future projects. I just thought they were quite cute, and for just 140, I think they're a steal. And then I got this bamboo, I think crochet hook, just for future, I don't know, projects where I made a mistake and need a crochet hook to pull maybe the yarn through or something like that. So these were just, yeah, super cheap and something to just see if I can work something out with them and just test it. Whereas these ones were definitely bought with a clear cause in mind, with a clear plan in mind. So yeah, now I think I might have bought too many crafty things. But speaking about the needles, I actually got them at Maschenwahn in Frankfurt, where I went a couple of days ago. I filmed the whole thing over on my Instagram if you want to catch a glimpse of what we were doing that day in Frankfurt. The shop actually is in Offenbach, but it's very close, obviously, to Frankfurt. And there I got a few more things. I got a few because I think, for one, they make a beautiful coffee table book. I got a few magazines. So I got the Lane magazine, which was the most expensive out of all of them. But I think the sage green is just intensely beautiful. Nordic Knit Live, winter 2020. My boyfriend actually got this Sandnesgarn 2015 magazine, which I think I told him if he got this magazine, it would make it more likely for me to knit him a sweater, because I would have an overview of some knitting patterns that I could knit up for him. So yeah, maybe I'm going to knit one of those. I do have a few knitting patterns already for men. I'm just gonna see. Yeah, I think this one would be quite an easy sweater to start out with. So yeah, I'm going to knit him a sweater next year. It's a set plan. I'm going to try and make it work. And these three I actually got for free. She had so this is Colorwork Knits, the Hardwick, and Mode at Rowan yarn. Yeah. So two more books, or rather magazines, which I think it's so nice to just look through them, and maybe you'll find a knitting pattern that you really fancy and try to knit it up, and you didn't pay anything for it. So yeah, I think it'll be just very nice to have this as like a coffee table books, while also being very practical, and maybe knit something from those in the future. And last but not least, I got this knitting notebook from the store, which I just thought was so beautiful. It's also by Lane. It really reminded me of my journal, of my calendar this year, which is also in this linen canvas, but in a beigey color. So I think they will go very well together. And I think it's just so cute. At this point in time, I'm doing all of my notes on my phone, and I wanted to actually change that. And I'm a very book and analog notes loving person. So these are all of my projects. I hope that I'll be able to finish some of the works in progress until the end of the year. I will probably speak to you again in December, so there will be one more episode before the new year, I think. I will be thinking about putting up a Q&A on my Instagram, so if you're interested in anything that I was talking about, or that I've shown in this or in the last couple of episodes, please feel free to drop me a message, write a comment. But if you want to know something specific, I will be putting up the Q&A box for the next for the coming episode. It's so nice to connect and talk to you all in the comment section, and be able to talk about something that is so close to my heart nowadays, and that has become such a passion of mine. It's just so nice to talk to other people about that are also into knitting. And I hope you liked this episode, and I will see you next time. Happy knitting. Bye.